Source of the African mindset. Each time I want to fight for the African right, I use one of my hand because the other hand is busy chasing off other Africans fighting against me. These are the words of Benjamin Burumbo. How bad? It is estimated between the 15th and 19th century that 11 million Africans were forced onto the European ship and taken across the Atlantic, and they never did return. After slavery came colonization, and that consolidated on the kind of belief we have today. And I would say that is the primary source of our belief to this point. Yeah, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Ifa Chukwani. And last week we talked about the source of belief for humans, but this week to be specific on how Africans got our belief. I would want to take you guys down to memory lane a little. Slavery officially ended in the year 1865, and immediately after that, colonization began, just after the Berlin Conference of 1884. Colonization, for me, is what shaped the mindset of most Africans to this point. And why did I say that? Just take a walk to a village in most sub-Saharan African countries, and you'll be marveled or be wondering on what century you are in, because those things that were not obtainable under colonial rule is still eluding the people even to this point. And why is this so? Most African leaders don't take responsibility of anything. And you know, people that behave that way are people that are still under colonial rule. You know, when we were under colonial rule, we usually pass the duty or the bulk of the work of decision making to the colonial masters. But right now, we are now independent. So why is it still so to this point? Lack of responsibility and the kind of mindset we still have. See, during colonial era, we were made to believe that our skin colors were worst or were not good enough. As like we were expected to have fairer skin. And many people hated themselves for this. In fact, a kind of race-based identity crisis erupted. Many people actually didn't like where they came from because of what they were made to believe then. And then many didn't like their skin color. Does this resonate with what you know now? See, let me talk about two African states, Ghana and Nigeria. These two countries have their markets flooded with all kinds of skin bleaching creams because many have a kind of low self-esteem or inferiority complex because of they still held onto the belief they had under the colonial rule and transferred even to their children. See, despite the fact that skin bleaching cream has been proven to cause skin cancer and body harms, many still want to do it because after all, it will make them look fair and they are ready to do it. A belief has been formed here, and many are still going to continue with this. Throughout the colonial era, Africans longed to return to their normal way of life that is void of subjugation and abuse. So after enduring many years of servitude, pains, indoctrination, and domination, Africans picked up arms and fought for their independence. It wasn't an easy battle. Many lost their lives. But eventually, we won. And after we won, there was this kind of optimism that we had that right now we now have our future to shape. But I have a question. After over 50 years or 60 years of independence for all the African states, have we been able to shape our future the way we want? Honestly, from my own perspective, I can only say that Africans have been able to take themselves away or liberate themselves from the physical shackles of slavery and colonization. But you see, the mental enslavement, I think we have only been able to take ourselves back to the point where we are under colonial rule. I mean, if not, why? Why is it that most Africans still think like those still under colonial rule, even to this point? And here is a known fact. You know that most Africans till this day continue to choose Western culture above theirs. And what does it tell you? See, some of the biggest source of our belief is like an indoctrination. What we had from our forefathers to our grandparents, to our parents, and then to us. Do you know that many sub-Saharan African countries have ditched, or I would rather say prefer fashions from the West than theirs? How many of you know anything about any big African dress or fashion company? But we all know about Nike, we know about Adidas, we know about Fubu, we know about Giorgio Armani, we know about Versace, we know about Christian Dior, we know about Next, we know about Calvin Klein. We know almost all the Western fashion hubs or industry, but we really know ours. Many of us have ditched our local African attire, which is actually the gateway to our identity, because this is the mind we had from them. And then, if I tell you how much our women spend on their hair, what I mean their hair, doing their hair, is like buying foreign hair. Honestly, I don't take away the fact that it is a woman's prerogative to decide on the kind of hair she wants to. But the problem I have here, or anyone that is thoughtful should have, is that what is the rationale behind this? Why are they doing this? The reason is that they feel that they are not complete. They feel inferior or inadequate without having those hair. That is the problem. We churn out huge sums of money to China to always make human hair so that we feel complete or feel like the whites. There's this mentality that is now very normal. Many African parents want their children to have English names because it makes them look cool. Many of us no longer want our local food because the Western food looks more posh. This is a mindset that started somewhere, and then we're still running with it to this point, and it's a problem. I would like to say that Africans are mentally conditioned to look up to the government for everything, for their freedom and their liberty, even when they have it. And then the government in turn runs to the West for same freedom which they already have and aid almost all the time. And I'm beginning to see things from this perspective that, we are conditioned to always ask the oppressor to free us, even when we can do so ourselves. On a final remark, in this dispensation, what I mean is under this globalization era, it is unwise for anyone to, consider themselves inferior because of their skin color or the shape of their nose, or someone take away their African identity because the West says it's cool. I think we have to grow above that and now start seeing ourselves as complete humans and start acting it out. As Africans, we need to hold ourselves in high esteem and walk with our shoulders held high. Held up, said held high. So I believe I was able to pass a message across to you guys. Thanks for watching this far. Kindly like, share and subscribe. I'll catch you up next week. Bye.